Why are men always okay with doing nothing for their birthday? Imagine celebrating the day when all my problems started. I don't have to imagine it. It happens every year. This woman was arrested for feeding homeless people, but she says she won't stop. The law, do you yield? I do not. Good, that's fine. Why is it illegal to feed people? I'm serious. I'm sure if I really try to rack my brain, I can think about maybe, okay, they don't want anything unhealthy being given out or something to accidentally harm somebody. I guess. I don't know. But it does seem a little bit egregious that if I feed a homeless person in a certain state or city or whatever, the police can give me a $2,000 ticket for it. Your father's rolling in his grave. Oh, I get it, you son of a bitch. At least once a month, I randomly remember that Dr. Phil once invited the creator of the Bum Fights video series on his show to confront him about exploiting vulnerable people for financial gain, only for him to show up dressed as Dr. Phil and point out that he does exactly the same thing. Wasn't he like literally immediately kicked off of the show for this too? Because Dr. Phil's a giant pussy with no sense of humor? I also did hear that maybe the Bum Fights guy's not the greatest dude in the world. Again, or not again, I didn't actually say this yet, so... I don't know. This happened so long ago that there's just no information left in my brain really about any of it. Best wishes to Americans this July 4th as you celebrate your great nation's revolutionary transition from being ruled by a king to being ruled by corporations. That didn't happen immediately, did it? I'd like to think in the well, no, I can't really say that either. All men created equal. I mean, clearly that was a lie for the most part, you know? You know, all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Unless you don't meet very specific criteria for being, you know, men until in 1863, yeah, let's just keep going forward. Oh, dude. Oh, God, I cannot wait to see who's coming up in my Twitter DMs now. You know what I'm saying? I cannot wait. Just know I appreciate the hell out of all you guys. And even though I make these silly jokes up here, clearly I got some problems. Is this really how people see marriage? All right, let's see here. I can tell you right now, if that's how you see your marriage and you're using this at your wedding, you need to not get married. Seriously. Look, if you guys have an agreement worked out where you're going to commit a little bit of tax fraud or something like that, and this is your idea, you know, and you've both really got it worked out, keep an open marriage and, you know, raking in tax breaks, even though it's probably not going to work out that way for you. If that's not what you're doing, oh boy, if this is how you see marriage, maybe you should consider not doing it. I don't know, dude. No f***ing way my uncle died last week and someone showed up with this cake. Sorry for your loss. Sorry for mine too. He owed me like $200. Oh, that's rich. Holy shit. How could that not make you giggle at least a little bit? This is a fellow whose name I don't want to mispronounce, an Algerian hacker who extracted $4 billion from 217 different banks and donated it all to poor African countries and Palestine. He was arrested in Bangkok and sentenced to 15 years in prison with a smile. Me. Just, goddamn it. Calling them election deniers, calling them sore losers suffering from electile dysfunction. No, I actually did find that funny. I don't know why I laughed like Mike Myers from Cat in the Hat. Let me see if I can actually do the laugh real quick. Okay, we're moving on. I'm getting a little too messed up. My mental state is, if you give me a hug for too long, I will start crying. Oh, it's Phil Jameson! How you doing, dude? Haven't seen him in a while. I still do not understand how we Africans were colonized. Jeez, okay. That took a second to register what was happening. Hey, remember when the Panama Papers proved that the 1% are hoarding all of their money offshore, but then one of the authors was murdered with a car bomb and nothing happened? Well, now we almost have trillionaires as more money is being stolen from communities and the world and is on fire. Classic capitalism, isn't it? Yes, it's super cool. Isn't that awesome? 12,000 Hollywood writers on strike. 160,000 actors announce theirs. 340,000 UPS Teamsters prepare to strike. I want more. I want more. I want Walmart workers to unionize. I want the Amazon workers to unionize. I want Starbucks, Safeway, Best Buy. I want all of them out in the streets. Shut this down until people stop being treated like indentured servants, okay? Actually, I don't think that term actually applies. Well, maybe it does. You know what? Who cares? If I'm wrong, you guys will correct me in the comments, as is per usual. You know me, I'm not ignorant on purpose. There are things I am ignorant of specifically because I can't know everything. But I do try to keep up on top of things for the most part, okay? So anyway, I just want everybody to strike. Just go for it, seriously. We gotta stop this bullshit, all right? Companies can't continue to have the biggest piggy banks on the planet while their lowest level workers starve to death or can't afford their insulin. That may be more of an American unique type of problem, but nonetheless, it should be happening anyway. Not the insulin part. You know what I mean. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm talking about. Congratulations to the IRS on winning the $846.3 million Mega Millions jackpot. Yeah, that's... I saw this earlier today again because it's been around a little bit, and it's funny. It is funny. It's kind of funny that this person's probably one of the few billionaires that's probably paid their fair share in taxes. You were a billionaire for 5 minutes and you did what almost every other billionaire just can't seem to do, even when they want to do it. Congratulations, my dude. At the very least, you still walked away with $433 million that you can use to build generational wealth forever for yourself and your family. Please don't go starting buying up super yachts and seriously, do it smart, I beg of you. Canceling $1.7 trillion in taxes for 600 billionaires, but not $1.7 trillion in student debt for 45 million Americans is the modern version of let them eat cake. Marjorie Taylor Greene says COVID's a bioweapon because God would never create a fatal illness that harms people. Tell me you've never read the Bible without telling me you've never read the Bible. Can Marjorie Taylor Greene read? No, I don't think I've seen her do that. South Korea is extending healthcare to pets. America is extending work hours for children. Woo! The economy's going great. We created 5 million jobs this year. And I have 3 of them and still can't pay my rent. Hooray! Seriously, I want unions in everything, man. Individually, we beg. United, we bargain. God damn it, these can't keep us down. We just gotta convince so many people that that is the case. Women calling Lizzo beautiful and inspiring. Women when you tell them they look like Lizzo. I mean, I don't know. I don't go around telling people they look like other people anymore. Because, you know, you don't want to say the wrong thing to somebody. Even if you find that person very beautiful, you don't know how they find that person. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. For instance, if I went up to a man and said, "Wow, you look like Chris Evans," you know? I think Chris Evans is an incredibly gorgeous, beautiful man. I feel like most people do. But you don't know. That guy could be like, "Really? Ouch, that hurts." Even though, again, he is an incredibly beautiful man. But beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, all right? So just think about that. Food for thought, so saith Confucius. Oh, and hey, what do you know? There's Confucius. If a company's always hiring, it means they're also always firing. Yeah, if they're always hiring, it's not even just always firing. That probably means people are also quitting constantly because working there is complete dumpster trash. Yes, there's other types of trash. I, for instance, am human trash. As much as we'd all like to see you two get punched in the face, instead, could you maybe cure a disease or something like that? Yeah, these guys are contributing oh so little to things, I feel. I feel like Zuckerberg's at least contributing a little more. I don't know how much Musk is involved in SpaceX or what they're doing much anymore. I feel like that was just another... I don't know if he still runs it, because I felt a while ago, so many people were like, "Hey, can you stop being the CEO? You can't be CEO of 35 companies, man. You weren't very amazing at it with one. Maybe you don't need to be doing it for 20. You know, hold on. Let me Google it real quick. Okay, so he's still listed as CEO of SpaceX. Cool. Again, I haven't seen really a whole lot of what they've been doing. You know, these guys both aren't doing super cool, in my opinion, regardless of other endeavors. I mean, didn't Marky Mark there spend like $10 quintillion on the metaverse, and ultimately no one ever gave a shit? Meanwhile, on the other side, Twitter's brand recognition is gone because Elon Musk is a 12-year-old who thinks he knows design and has had an obsession with X his entire life. Just stop it. Stop it, dude. Oh my God. Things billionaires buy. Yeah, the bottom left, that's a really important one. Look, you can have your super yacht, but you gotta quit buying those guys. That's the big problem, okay? Sure, the others are insanely bullshit too, but that one right there is getting me good. Spending the 4th of July thinking about how we could have had free healthcare and education if we lost. Oh, you know what? I'm genuinely curious. I'm genuinely curious exactly where we would be right now if we had. Because, like, the jokes are funny, but I'm really wondering about that. Where would we have ended up? How much of the Americas would we have stolen? What would have happened? You know what I mean? I'm really curious. Republicans will be like, gay marriage just doesn't follow the traditional definition of marriage, and then cheat on their third wife. Oh, they know what they're doing. They just don't give a shit, you know? Example of future housing plans under communism. This is literally the current housing plan under capitalism. I love people that say stuff like that. Wow, this is literally us if we go communism. This is a photo of a capitalist country right now. This is right now. This isn't a future thing. This is happening right this moment. But no, you only see it as a problem if it's under communism. You see this as an issue with that because, you know, communism bad. I get it. I grew up in America. Trust me, I've had all sorts of stuff shoved down my throat. But no, this is totally normal and completely fair and humane under capitalism. Because that's the name of the game with capitalism. F you, I get mine. And you know what? I'm gonna get a lot of other people's too, baby. I built a craft to explore the inside of active volcanoes. Tickets are 250,000 pounds each. You know, you might be onto something. I've always wanted to go down there and see if I could see, oh, I see what you're saying. 5-year-old me, I want to be a teacher, a doctor, an astronaut, and an engineer. 25-year-old me, I just want to be happy and not tired. Yeah, as a kid, I talked about wanting to be pretty much all of those things as well, but then reality hit me in the face knowing that I wasn't smart enough to be a single f***ing one of them. I literally don't meet actual physical requirements for being an astronaut. Space scares me as well, that's a bigger part. Not smart enough to be an engineer, certainly not smart enough to be a doctor, and there's not a single thing I could ever get good enough at to be a teacher for. So yeah, I'd love to just be happy, man. I don't mind the idea of just being happy. Ease up on the nostalgia. Nostalgia can be used as a tool by corporations to elevate the good times to the commodities they sell. You can't buy back your childhood no matter how hard you try. Now, I have definitely had a mindset like this, not about corporations using it to get you, even though that is incredibly valid and they most certainly do that, right? Nintendo and Disney are pretty big on selling their nostalgia when it's convenient for them because they know nostalgia is going to get you good. Remember the Disney Vault? Yeah, you remember the Disney Vault? Nostalgia, $80 VHS tapes that came out like once a year? Yeah, I'm sure that some of you remember that for sure. And Nintendo likes to vault stuff, although to a lesser ridiculous extent. I'm just saying, it's not just corporations that use it against you. If you live your life fueled strictly by nostalgia, you will never move forward. Trust me, it happened to me. Nostalgia was fueling my life for at least a little while, at least a year or two, and I didn't do a goddamn thing. You know what I did do when I finally get out of it, though? I put myself out there, and then I got to become the narrator of this fantastic channel and talk to all of you fine people day in and day out. So I immediately moved forward. Not saying that that's how it works or that's a guarantee or something, but my nostalgia, while it is great, and we all love drinking that juice every now and then, just don't let it become a thing that you're doing all the time, because it can be dangerous for you. We always want to be moving forward. We don't want to be stuck somewhere because we're too obsessed with how we felt when we were younger, even though it's a good feeling. So I guess just remember that. That's my nugget of not wisdom for you today. I say things like that as though I'm a genius. No, it's incredibly obvious stuff. I'm not like, I don't think for a second I'm some mega smart guy. I don't want you guys to think that by any means. When you're on Reddit Mobile and it automatically scrolls back to the top and you lost the meme you were at, I think that's only happened to me once. Yeah, that Reddit app sucks. Thanks a lot, CEO, whatever your name is. You know what I mean? I don't know who the hell you are, but you're kind of a dumbass. Go touch grass. Where? Well, okay, now you're cherry picking there, friend. You have to go out to the subsidized suburbias with grass, okay? You know, all that grass that we pay tons of waste, tons of water on. You gotta head out there. You don't have a car? Man, you idiot. How you gonna touch grass now? I got a job at Comcast and completed training so I could fix my own cable because it was faster than being on hold with customer service. I don't think that even if you train as a guy that turns it on and does all that stuff at the house, I don't think that they know enough to just magically fix cable, willy-nilly. Because sometimes it's not broken, it's just off. And I don't think you can fix that on your own. Remember when we cried as kids and our parents said, "I'll give you something to cry about"? We thought they were going to hit us, but instead, they destroyed the housing market, quadrupled college tuition, and melted the ice caps. Yeah, that's not what they meant. They were definitely going to hurt us, emotionally and or physically. That's the threat, right? I think they did all of that stuff by simply, unfortunately, being Gen Xers. You know what I mean? Okay, here, let me try and paint that picture a little bit better. So my mom's Gen X. Not all of our parents are Gen X. I'm just saying I'm in that age group. Some of you might have boomers for parents. Some of you might have millennials for parents. And they're the ones that are really trying, right? But Gen X definitely got a pretty good taste pretty early on in their lives of just what the boomers left for them. Because I don't think it's Gen X that melted the ice caps and quadrupled college tuition. Because, man, when they were kids, it wasn't Gen X that was running the government. It wasn't them. A lot of them are now. Doesn't really help much, but, the point is, I don't know, my mom's Gen X. She had a terrible time for a while there. So I sympathize with them to a certain extent. I think I've said it before. The only serious problem I have with Gen X is their disgusting, abhorrent attitude towards homeless people. Boomers are pretty mean, but for the most part, they're a little bit more indifferent. Meanwhile, Gen X talks about how they wish they could round them up and kill them. Again, that sweeping generalization I just made, of course, is not true. Do not take it as truth. Okay? I exaggerate, and I do not mean for anybody to go, "They all do?" No, of course not. They don't all do it. I've just noticed that when people of a certain age group do it, it tends to be, in my eyes, from Gen X. It's just something that I've noticed. But then again, you gotta remember, what's my view of the world? I sit at a desk and read memes all day. I am not deaf and blind to my situation. Trust me. Again, I've said it before, say it again. I'm not that smart. If that wasn't obvious. I'm supposed to be here to be fun and funny, but it can be kind of hard when this is all the internet is now, I still do my best. Don't you worry. People living paycheck to paycheck, landlords living month to month, banks and corporations living bailout to bailout, the US government living war to war. When you did your doctorate in physical chemistry and have been the de facto leader of Europe for 14 years, but you have to be polite to a handbag designer who thinks she's your contemporary, how many handbags did she successfully design, might I ask?